Everyone has their pet peeves, those small things that irritate them. For alpha males, these are typically challenges to authority or respect, while beta males may become agitated over social rejection or conflict. However, for sigma males, their triggers are deeper and less obvious at first glance. These guys may appear laid back on the outside, being quiet and reserved and not making a fuss about most things, but there are some situations and behaviors that they simply cannot stand, and while they won't explode like an alpha or shy away like a beta, they will either quietly remove themselves from the situation or find subtle ways to avoid it completely. Here are 6 common things that all sigma males detest, starting with blind obedience. Although most people assume that sigma men are quiet rebels in a society of followers, they are the ones that disturb yes-man culture, make employers uncomfortable, and refuse to comply with pointless traditions. These guys often argue with supervisors and coworkers who just want everyone to follow the rules during meetings. They are the ones that bring up awkward topics. Others remain silent at workplace parties, questioning why everyone seems like they're having a good time simply because they're expected to be this way. While everyone else merely abides by pointless regulations and antiquated methods, street culture really emerges in professional settings. While alpha men set the rules and beta males obey them, sigma guys are unable to resist questioning everything. They are not attempting to be challenging. They just need to understand why they are being asked to do something. Sigma males approach every situation differently. They trust their instincts and their brains, rather than what other people are doing. They observe that people are following the same old life paths or agreeing with group decisions without questioning them. It's like watching sheep follow each other around at work. They also question things that no one else thinks about in social situations and refuse to give in to peer pressure like others do. Even in daily life, they prefer to find better ways to do things rather than follow the herd. These individuals find it intolerable when people simply follow orders without question. They care about doing what makes sense, not about fitting in. If something makes sense, they will do it. If not, they won't do it merely to please others. This independent thinking causes conflict with authority figures who demand mindless obedience, but they would much rather stand alone than follow rules that make no sense. Number 2 is irrational assumptions. Nothing enrages a sigma guy more than people's propensity to believe things without supporting proof. These men find it intolerable that others accept and disseminate ideas as reality, constructing whole belief systems on sand foundations. While others who are not sigma-minded are already analyzing the logical flaws, he's not attempting to be challenging. He just can't overlook the shortcomings in illogical thinking when it comes to identifying the missing data and challenging the logic behind such conclusions. Because they have witnessed too often how false information spreads and molds people's worldviews, sigma males have developed an intense dislike of assumptions. They have seen how one erroneous belief can spiral into a whole system of flawed thinking that affects everything from small decisions to life-altering ones. The thing that truly bothers them is how defensive individuals become when their presumptions are questioned. The majority of people would prefer hold on to their comfortable views than confront painful realities. They will disregard data, skew reasoning, and even disparage individuals who challenge their irrational assumptions. It's not about being contrarian, it's about seeking truth over comfort, but this is what drives these men completely insane. They can spot an irrational assumption from a mile away, whether it's popular myths, cultural beliefs, or common wisdom that everyone seems to accept. It's like seeing a slow-motion train crash of reason and logic for a decade as these presumptions spread across society like viruses, affecting comprehension and decision-making at every level. A concept must be tested, questioned, and supported by substantial evidence before it can be accepted. This may make them seem doubtful or challenging, but in their opinion, it's far better than following the herd and mindlessly accepting whatever is said to them. Number 3, meaningless friendships. Like Sigma men, individuals today gather friends like Pokemon cards, creating networks of superficial ties that have no true purpose, and no one sees through this facade. Modern friendships have become like fast food, quick, easy, and ultimately hollow. Despite the fact that social media has made friendship a numbers game with hundreds of contacts, numerous group conversations, and frequent social gatherings, genuine connections seem to be more uncommon than ever. As they watch this carnival, Sigma guys are both fascinated and disgusted by how people confuse activity with genuineness. They see friendship being reduced to likes, shares, and emojis. Everyone has a best friend or a brother from a different mother, but few would show up at 3 in the morning for an emergency. The performative aspect of it really irritates these men who have an innate dislike of the superficial nature of today's social bonds. Online groups are emerging out of a fear of loneliness rather than a real connection, with pals wishing each other a happy birthday on social media rather than over the phone. These superficial ties fall apart at the first sign of trouble, and when genuine problems emerge, the majority of these close pals go more quickly than free food at an office party. It's like watching a play where everyone is reading off a script. The mandatory check-ins and mandatory hangouts. In a world where people are obsessed with quantity over quality in relationships, these men stand out by valuing depth over breadth. They will have meaningful conversations over small talk any day, and if that makes them difficult, so be it. The pretense of caring seems exhausting and pointless to Sigma males. This isn't about being antisocial or avoiding connection. Quite the opposite. These men value genuine friendships deeply, those rare bonds built on mutual understanding, respect, and authentic interaction action. They'd rather have one real friend than 100 fake ones. Number 4. People who criticize you without knowing you, like judging, and carrying out other people's life without understanding the whole context. They will call someone lazy, strange, antisocial, or unsuccessful based on their own limited criteria. This hasty judgment, particularly on decisions they don't comprehend, pushes. These armchair critics, who are Sigma males up the wall, have opinions about everything, including how other people should live, date, and spend their free time. They will criticize career choices that don't fit their definition of success or raise eyebrows at someone dining alone at a restaurant. They will also ask why someone is still single at 30. Sigma males observe that these critical people often pass off their criticism as concern or guidance by saying things like, "I'm just worried about you," or "I'm telling you this for your own good." But in reality, they are just forcing their own constrained worldview on other people. The irony of judging someone's life without knowing their circumstances or motivations seems to be lost on these individuals who claim to be experts on everyone else's path despite never having walked a mile in their shoes. They are quick to declare what is right or wrong about that person's journey. The thing that irritates me the most is probably how these critical attitudes inhibit creativity and originality. People start to dread the inevitable burden of criticism and unwanted judgments, which makes them scared to live truly or make uncommon decisions. These rash decisions and unrelenting criticism can push people to change their actual course in order to conform to someone else's definition of normalcy. Let's face it, the majority of these critics are simply projecting their own fears onto other people. They criticize what makes them uncomfortable, attack what challenges their own life decisions, and judge what they don't understand. It makes sense why Sigma guys find them intolerable. The 5th is narrow-mindedness. Even in the face of overwhelming evidence, some individuals dig their heels in further and refuse to even entertain the possibility of a contrary viewpoint because they would sooner die than acknowledge they could be mistaken. This obstinate narrow-mindedness irritates me the most. Male stigmatists who see it as a kind of willful ignorance. Those who enthusiastically defend their restrictions are celebrating their mental imprisonment. They consider each new concept as a danger to their comfort zone and cling to their views like security blankets. The slightest inkling of a difficult concept causes their thoughts to snap shut. It goes beyond simple disagreement. Narrow-minded people frequently react angrily to new ideas, treating opposing viewpoints as personal attacks and erecting walls around their beliefs in an effort to actively combat anything that might broaden their understanding. The stubbornness of narrow-minded thinking is a symbol of everything Sigma males stand against. While these men are always questioning and evolving their understanding of the world, while others proudly declare that's just how I think or I know what I know, wearing their closed minds like badges of honor. The echo chambers of contemporary culture only serve to perpetuate this behavior by surrounding individuals with like-minded others, creating bubbles where their limited perspectives are never questioned. This issue is exacerbated by social media algorithms that primarily display material that confirms pre-existing opinions. Seeing the squandered potential, each closed intellect symbolizes innumerable missed possibilities for development and understanding, is what really drives Sigma guys insane. This mental rigidity not only limits individuals but also stalls progress, kills innovation, and makes understanding between different groups impossible, because some people refuse to even consider that they might not know everything. It's like watching someone refuse to open a door because they believe their small room is the entire world. The 6th, flakiness. It has nothing to do with postponed plans or tardiness. People who are unable to commit to anything meaningful, their words, their ambitions, their values, or even their own personal development, are the epitome of the flakiness that really lies under a Sigma male's exterior. They make grand promises they don't intend to fulfill and hop from one passion to another, never focusing on anything long enough to master it. These are the folks who speak a lot about altering their life but never really take the first step. Burns brightly but fades as soon as trouble arises. Sigma men see these flimsy tips as they bounce like pinballs through existence. It's really annoying that these people frequently have genuine potential. They're not incapable, they're just unwilling to put in the necessary effort. They want the results without the journey, the success, the struggle, the achievement, and the dedication. One week they're starting a business, and the next they're pursuing a different career entirely. They claim they want to learn new skills, but they give up as soon as it requires real effort. They exhibit the same lack of follow-through even in serious situations like personal growth or significant relationships. They will talk endlessly about improving themselves but never fulfill any commitments, and they will say someone is their best friend, but vanish when that friend actually needs help. And this shallow lifestyle contradicts what Sigma men hold to be true, which is that everything meaningful takes commitment, perseverance, and the capacity to overcome obstacles. Seeing somebody continuously utilize the easy route and make excuses to avoid genuine commitment is like seeing someone purposefully squander their potential. It serves as a reminder of how unusual true dedication is in today's culture of easy fixes and shortcuts, in addition to being frustrating.